Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. I think about Miss Nichols. I was watching her being interviewed on the news this morning, and as the interviewer was asking her questions about her emotions about what she heard, she said she hasn't watched the video and hasn't really no interest, but she heard enough about it. But having watched what they've shown us myself, and just listening to what she was responding to, I tell you, it was like my kids, any of my kids. And I know I didn't feel every pain she felt, but I felt enough pain and sadness for tears to run down my face like it was raining. And to me, every parent, black or white, should feel like this when something like this happens to any kid, because it could have been your kid. And if you don't stop it, it just might be your kid next time. That stuff is absolutely pathetic. But this is how much and how far we have fallen from grace, how far we've fallen from true natural love. This is how far we've fallen to the abyss. I was just thinking that the love that we say we have for our brothers and sisters, we say we are that outstanding nation, better than all other nations. Yet other nations got better healthcare systems, better education systems, better systems that care about their people. Doesn't take care of them, but with better systems than if you want to measure by a number. And I think about the homeless people and how they want to put them over yonder, hide them out of sight, like they want to do protesters. Get out of sight, go over there in the fields. If anybody is concerned about what you're saying, then they'll come over there, but get out of our public view. Ain't that something? That, in other words, that which would work, you will not be permitted to do. We will allow you to do it, but we want you to go do it somewhere where it doesn't really matter. Ain't that something? That's the way life really rolls on earth. I'm thinking about these people with these tents. They should, while you go out there, put those tents right in the public parks. Make sure that your pain and your suffering, that everybody see it. You might be ashamed, but I tell you what, you didn't do it to yourself. So let them know just how much pain you feel. Let them know how you hurt. Come out of those crevices. You see these crooks came out when somebody said we're going to lie our way through. All the liars, it seems, just started rising to the top. Not all of them. You know, some of them still lying. But if you're suffering because you can't go to school, come out of those crates. Tell these people your pain. But you can't tell them your pain because you don't really understand what the solution is. You know you want it. You know you need it. You know you desire it, but how to achieve it, you don't know because it has never been put before you. The only thing that you've been put before you is dog eat dog. It's competition. Some do, some don't. And they say this is the thing that makes you move on up. I tell you, pain is always pain. Suffering is always suffering. And a lack thereof is always a lack thereof. So you've been conned to think that you divided in your philosophy or your ways with that of another, and so you're competing between one another. Now you found that one side just want to lie and do anything because they know that you want to try not to lie so publicly, and they don't mind lying publicly. But you're lying nonetheless, because the things that would be fixed if you were not lying aren't fixed, which means the whole nation is lying. And what I'm saying to this, ladies and gentlemen, yes, there are those of you who have so much compassion for one another. You care. You really care about one another. There are millions of, probably billions of us that really care about people. But it doesn't matter, ladies and gentlemen. our caring is not enough. That's not the real caring. That is something to indicate to you what caring is. You know, like they do unto others as you'd have others do unto yourself, unto you. You know what's good for you. That's sort of like that. That doesn't mean that that's it. But that works. But that doesn't mean that that's it, because now we're talking about more than just a individual you. You are included, but you're a part of the big you, the all you. So everything matters. So when we got all this suffering going on in our country, that speaks for us. We got all this suffering going across the globe. That speaks for all of us. And all of us have said, regardless of our love, regardless of our God, and everything that we say about our God, pain and suffering exists. So our God is not the God. Our God is a fake God. People are being denied access to food, education, and health care. That is a fake God. And anybody that sits back and say, we'll just walk through this, there's going to come a time when time is going to pass. And if we just don't rock the boat, we're going to get on the other side and these answers will be made. No, my brothers and sisters, the answer is here today if you wake up. And what does waking up mean? It means waking up and changing your ways, changing your way from that which fails you. Try something that you've never done before. What? Do the right thing. What is that? Engage yourself in the process. Everybody's important. Everybody got something to say. Everybody want to benefit from all the things that exist, and let everybody participate in the process of creating it, and create it in such an abundance that nobody who might want something. You see what I'm saying? What am I saying? Let me tell you what I'm saying. Those of you, for our institutions that we have set up in our country, many of them are worthy. Many of them operate on they're set up to do righteous stuff. In other words, they're good in the system. And then there are those that aren't. So what I'm saying is this: housing is good. So everybody that has a house, you should have ownership of that house. Mortgage knocked out, it's your house. Not paying another penny on anything like a mortgage. Those of you who don't have a house, who are living in an apartment, same thing. That apartment becomes yours. You've been renting. Now you don't pay no rent anymore. This is yours. You are responsible for it. This is your dwelling. Those who have been living in tents, hotel spaces must be made available to you. Then you claim that as your space until the necessary facilities can be made to accommodate your needs. Same thing with food. Same thing with clothing. If you got a business store, you're selling cars, you've been selling food, you've been selling clothes, you sell books and stuff. You keep right on doing that. Only thing, you're not selling it. People are coming, accessing it just like they did before, based upon their need, based upon their want and desire. But they're not paying you any money. And you're still being stocked the same way you've been stocked before. But you're not paying any money. Now you're using the resources to benefit all of the people, yourselves and all of the people. You're not using the resources to make money so you can exploit other folks and try to be bigger and better than everybody else. Hold yourself as being something. You ain't nothing above anybody else. So I'm saying we as people got to be responsible. We can take care of ourselves and we can breathe and we think that we are all right. People even look at us and say, oh, they doing all right. But look at the folks over here. What about that? What you say? They knowing they're failing? What the hell do you mean they failing? We as a people are failing. And I'm fed up with this failing stuff. I mean, look, I know I don't have too much more time on this plane. Goodness gracious, I would have loved to have lived in paradise when my 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s and the 70s, I would have loved to live as though I'm living in heaven. And I'm not talking about being rich over here and somebody over here poor. I'm saying it's all around. I don't love that. So I missed that. It wasn't because I wasn't trying. Oh, buddy, was I trying? And I'm still trying. My biggest problem has been you, the people. You, the people. You know, it's almost like I'm gonna tell you the truth, like this. You know, I understand the excuses are acceptable, but it almost sometimes make you look like you just out of it. I mean, it makes you look like you heartless. Even those of you who care, it makes it seem as though it's centered. Just like somebody, I love my spouse. I love my race. So you love a whole group, 6 billion people. 2 billion you can't stand. And you think you're a lover. No, you're not a lover. You're a pretender. And so, but you can't laugh. You can't laugh at that, because as long as those others are left out, then we are all missing heaven. So ain't no laughing time. When you got laughing time, that's when you still out there thinking that you got a better chance than somebody else, and that makes you all right. You're not even concerned about other folks no more than anybody else. But you getting satisfaction out of what is being achieved right now. But you are not part of the solution. You're not part of making sure everybody got education, health care, jobs, stuff like that. No. You use the words, but they mean nothing according to your actions. And you, the people. I'm throwing out there to politicians, but my main concern is you, we, the people. I don't care if politicians going to do all the kind of stuff they're going to do. They're going to be manipulated. But we, the people, we're the ones that's feeling the result of their inadequacies. We are the one that's going through the pain, and we sit back like they are somebody. And then not only that, we are paying them so they can live above the suffering and pain that we feel. Even when they're out of their jobs, and when they finally quit, they can still live right on as if everything is fine, above the pain and suffering that they have dealt us, and we continue to endure. Yeah, you know we got to be out of our mind. You commentators on Facebook, on YouTube, don't you know we are out of our minds? Admit it. We are out of our mind. And some of us got, programs, comedy shows. Well, we mock and laugh at this stuff. That kind of makes it a little bit milder. That kind of keeps you from being so frustrated because you got a chance to laugh at it. That's another trick. And I guarantee you, those who are telling you those jokes are being paid. Being paid. Got you laughing at that which caused us pain and suffering. They getting paid. Ain't doing nothing for the rest of us, but making it more acceptable because we can laugh. Man, oh man, oh man. Woo! Well, anyway, let me pause it for a second, just in case something else crossed my mind before I hang up.